there's 3 steps in business. The first step is it leads, is
Yes,
you
yes.
need attention. You need attention from somebody. I don't know why I wrote attention, 'cause I'm thinking in French. Yeah, we need to get people's attention. You
Right,
can't
right.
have a sale without attention. This is the step 1. You need leads and you need their attention. I don't even know what word I just scribbled. I was like, "What is that?" Attention. Okay, and then the number 2 thing is you need to convert them. Like, you
Yes.
need sales. This is just the basics. What's important. And then number 3 is you need to deliver something. So we could look at this as a different ways, but delivery, you could look at this as product. You could also look at this as retention, or I could just say retain, or make it even simpler, keep them, right? We want to keep these guys. It's so hard to get a customer. You might as well keep them. So none of
Yeah, yeah.
this should be anything new to you, I'm sure.
Yep.
But people get it wrong. So people get all excited about number 3. These go in order. 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
Without leads, who cares what your giant plan is for the business model and your Excel sheet? Like, does not matter. If you don't have people knocking down your door, what you're going to sell them isn't even important. You don't like you need to, so you have to do it in 1, 2, 3 order.
Right,
First, you
right.
get leads, get lead flow of conversations. That is step 1 in business. If you have a flow of conversations, you have a business. If you can get 50 people, if you can talk to 50 of the same people, you can validate a business concept, you can launch a business. You need lead flow is number 1. Then when you have lead flow, you can look at, am I making the right offer? I guess we could put offer in here. That's the other thing to say here is the offers is in here too. But without lead flow, how are you going to know? You need a certain amount of volume. So it's 1, 2, 3 leads, sales, and product. And
Okay, okay.
this is the order of, at the beginning, this is the order. Later, when the business grows up, it moves around. And so when the business grows up, everything changes a little bit. And it's like this, there's a triangle, and your constraint is somewhere in this triangle. Either it's marketing. So either you're not getting these conversations, or it's sales. You're having so many conversations, but no one's buying them. No one's doing it.
Mhm,
Or it's the product or the delivery. That means
mhm,
that customers are churning, they're leaving. And so
mhm.
when you want to fix an existing business, this is I'm going really advanced now. When you fix an existing business, you go backwards. So it's okay. If I want to make you the most money in the shortest amount of time and you have a really big running business, I think, all right, can we fix retention? I
Mm,
work the other way around. But when you're starting, you go this way, if that makes any sense. And at any given time, your problem has to be only one of these. It can't be all 3. You only have one problem. And if the one way to save time in business is not to do what doesn't matter. Everyone gets excited about being completionist or whatever and making logos and stuff that does not matter. What matters is somewhere here is your problem. But for most of the people who are in this program right now, it's 100% right here. So it
okay.
doesn't, like, your ideas about your business and all these other things that feel important are not, because you just don't have the lead. But later, almost always, people get lead flow, and they're like, they start worrying about lead quality, and they're like, I wish I had more free time or something. But no, now you have to sell them something. Then you have to
Mm,
deliver. Then we can optimize marketing, but we got to go in the right order. So that's any given time, your constraint is here, and that's the only place you need to focus.
okay, okay.
Okay. So that's just theory of constraints, business. Totally. I imagine you already know all that.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's one nugget. The other nugget is I'll just tell you a personal story, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite concepts for doing scary shit. So we're going to call it ATC, ATC, which is assess, test, commit. 1, 2, 3. ATC. Always assess, test, commit. When you start to feel fear and things are difficult, assess, test, commit. This is what you got to do. And this is my version. People say, oh, I need to burn the boats.
Yeah, yeah.
That's insane. That's why people go bankrupt, businesses fail. They burn the boats, and then the shit didn't work that they thought. But that can happen. So instead, what I like is assess, test, commit. And I'll tell you where this comes from. This is
Wow,
on LCAP, right? So we're climbing LCAP. This is through a
wow, wow.
telescope. We're climbing this huge rock, right? And I'll have another one just to give you some examples. Zodiac. Where's that? Yeah. This is, if you fall here, you hit this and you break your legs, and these things don't hold falls. You can't fall between here and there. Okay. So how do you do stuff like this? It's the same in business. It's assess, test, commit. It's not commit. You know what I mean? I guess
Yeah,
assess is in here too with planning. It's okay to make a plan. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You can make a weak plan. You can make a rough, I'm going to do these big pillars.
mhm,
But getting really excited about planning, like people do in corporate
mhm.
environments, doesn't make any sense in high risk. Instead, you're like, how are we doing? Do we have the cash flow to continue? Where's the bottleneck? Okay, I think I should go here. I'm going to test it. It seems like it's working. All right, now I'm going to 100% make it work. Now I'll commit to that thing. But this is a great framework, ATC, for this kind of stuff. So I remember Douglas yesterday was, do I do this one or that model? Do I go after this ICP or that ICP? I would just say ATC, assess, test, commit. Which one seems the best? And then we test it, then we commit. Don't have to commit today. All right, one more concept. So just because this is very relevant. So when we do leads, there's a trade-off between, is it easy to find? And then there's like hard to find. Okay, so there's people, we're looking for people, we're doing outreach. They're on this continuum of easy to find and hard to find. So hard to find, you can find them, but it will cost more money. Easy to find, you can find them, but and it's cheaper. So it's like what it costs you. And so you've got, this is the like what it costs you column. This is like ease. And this is how much money they have, how much purchasing power. And it's totally reversed. So if people are easy to find, it doesn't cost you anything, and they don't have any money. If they're very hard to find, they have a lot of money. And so it's just, I don't know, that's just the way of the world. So if you are trying to find, and let's just give you some examples. If you're trying to find the emails of entry-level managers at a company, like the first level of being a manager, you know why you can find so many of those emails? Because there's bazillions of those people. Like so many people have manager level 1 job at a corporation. So there's so many of them. Of course, that makes it easier to find because there's just a lot of them. And then if you look at the economic pyramid here, up here we've got like CEO of, let's just say $100 million companies. There's not that many on planet Earth, and they don't really want you to call them that badly. So they're harder to find. There's fewer of them. They're harder to find, but they have more money. And I think I made a post about this earlier, that the level of 500K to 10 million is just a great sweet spot for, they can buy stuff, but they're not too hard to find. Okay, this is the dynamics going on. So when people say, some people come to me and say, hey, I want 30 calls a week, and they're Fortune 50 companies, and they don't want to talk to you. All right, you get the point. So just that's something to keep in mind. Some things are easier to find, right? Just going on this thing. So if you say, oh yeah, let's keep this ridiculous idea going. I just want to, before we dive in, because it's pretty easy what I'm going to show you. So just want to make one other point here, which is we're going to keep going on this kind of continuum, right? The difference between these things. So the other point is how specific you want to get. So this is, I would call this broad. If it's broad, again, it's cheaper. If it's ultra specific, then it's very expensive. So, and it's just like the software and the tools and the tech stack become very specific. So if you want to go after CEOs in a certain industry in this region, let's just make that example. Let's say we're going to go after CEOs in around here in this like easier region. Where would that be on the list? Like way over here, actually, because there are a lot in that region. And if you go within an industry, that's not too hard to find. But if you say, I want companies that are in that area, but they're growing and they're hiring a specific role and they haven't filled it, and that role has been open for 2 months, but not 3, and you keep adding ands, suddenly it's going to go over here and it's going to be expensive to buy that list. Because there's tools that do that, but then you have to get someone to program that kind of search, and then you have to pay credits. All these tools have credits, and it just gets really expensive. So again, this is why I'm saying, like, if you make it simple, you can do this in a really cost-effective way. Okay, so now with all that background about finding leads, so you're looking for sports companies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear everything. So we're in Apollo right now, and you can buy Apollo license. I would look into industries and see if sports is in here. Okay. So we found 263 companies in sports. And every time I do something, I just sanity check, does this make any sense? So I think this is probably like hard to see. So I'm going to zoom way the heck. Yeah. And my question does this even look right? So just let's take a quick look, and I'll check a couple of random pages. I do this at every step, just as a safety check. Did I just add something stupid? So Adidas, okay, they're a sports they're like a product. Mercedes, you guys are joking. Yeah. The Admirals, yes. Red Bull Racing, yep. McLaren Racing, is that cars or sports? I don't know. Decathlon is like the Walmart of Europe for sports equipment. Decathlon France, yeah, I've been into Decathlon France. National Basketball, FIFA, UEFA. Okay, so Manchester. It looks like these are mostly right. So I'm going to go to another page. Red Bull, Perfect Game, Next Academy, some football league. Okay, it's looking right.
Yep.
Cool. So we're going to try and get down to people, and we want 15,000 people, I would say. Well, that's a great goal. That'll keep you going. If you're doing email, that'll do a quarter. If you're doing LinkedIn, that's like a year of LinkedIn or more, maybe 2 years. So that's a great amount. So let's start filtering down now. We're going to want the next one would be the country. So probably you would prefer, is there countries?
Yes.
I'm going to now go to people. So we saw that there were the right people in that industry. So now if we go to people, let's go to where they live. Location, thank you. Okay, so let's just say, do you want Canada?
No.
Okay, United States for you, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, we're down to 300,000 people and in sports. And then let's just start big. Who's the buyer who would typically...
The GM, the general manager.
Okay, so we can just start with general manager, 3K. All right, but if you're going to talk to the GM, do you want to talk to the CEO, the COO?
Yeah. Operator.
COO. So I'm trying to get this number up now, 4.7. CEO, owner, yeah, if that works.
Awesome.
That would be very cool. That's 16K. I would say, like, given who owns sports teams, that's going to be pretty tough. Yeah. Let's stick with this. Yeah, golf club, COO, CEO. Yeah, so we could add more, but this is already looking pretty good. You can do things like revenue, number of employees, and so forth. Some of it we don't know. Like a lot of these things try and sell buying intent data. So people want to believe in this, but I don't believe it's true that they actually know. But they try and tell you, yeah, they're looking to buy stuff because we saw they clicked on this website. So they're probably... You can also do technology. So if they use a certain technology, that can help if you're trying to do tech sales and you're like, I want companies that use Zoho CRM or something. You can do that. But I think given what you're trying to do, you're almost done. Who else could we add other than owner?
Talk about HR doesn't really pay, but
yeah, if we add in HR, I'm sure you'll double this, but I don't know if you...
Yeah, that would be like college, maybe like director.
Okay, let's add that in.
Yeah.
All right, that barely made something. Do you see it went from 8.3 to 8.6?
Yeah.
All right, what else can we do? We could do... last time we talked, you had a couple of other ones. Who was it in HR? Just the CHRO?
People.
Okay, that barely did anything too, so fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead, leave them.
People and culture.
Oh, yeah. Let's see what we got here. That did a little tiny bit. Yeah, okay. So I would stop here.